This is a Gear Network production.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy, Mr. Perez, and you're listening to the Better Live Than Dead podcast, brought to you exclusively on Gear Network. Listen in.
Hello. Welcome to Better Live Than Dead, episode number 49.
49 people.
You're telling me I missed out on the big 5-0 by 1 week?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I did too, so.
Don't
Don't worry, Eric, you know, you can come over, we can record something. Dawn and I are planning on recording a very special message for Ryan and Perez for 50.
That's where you can drop your N-bombs.
I'm not going to drop any N-bombs, you racist.
Well, you were a few minutes ago.
Nerd.
Yeah, nerd.
Before we get too far in, I want to say, first off, I am Ryan Wolf. You can follow me at my changed Twitter handle, at WolfBLTD.
BLTD, folks.
And you can follow my one co-host, John, at the JC Money, and my other co-host, Eric, at Eric Emanon. Today, without Mr. Perez, we have a full house. Fuller than usual, but fuller.
Just less the Olsen twins and Uncle Jesse.
Fullest.
You said
Fuller House.
Please tell me I didn't date myself with that.
No, you didn't.
No.
Okay,
you
good.
didn't.
You already dated yourself by telling us how old you were.
Shut up, Ryan.
First one out of the way.
You know what?
And it wasn't to you this time.
We've got a lot to talk about. I just want to jump head first. There's a lot of sports news happening this week.
Yes.
Sportsing.
First off, NCAA basketball. Syracuse announces Mike Hopkins will succeed Jim Boeheim after he retires in 2018. No shock there.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a procedural move.
Mm-hmm.
NCAA football.
He's also going to be doing 9 games this year.
Yeah, because Boeheim was kicked out of the
Right.
ACC.
He's fighting it. He's fighting it, but he's not going to win it.
No,
and
no, not
so
at all.
you'll get a good preview of what replacement will.
And National College Association, Athletic Association of Football. That was ridiculous to say that. NCAA football. Sean P. Diddy Combs, also known as Diddy.
The D, the I, the D, the D, the Y, the Diddy.
Arrested and charged with assault with a deadly weapon after attacking UCLA coach Sal Alosi with a kettlebell.
Whoop.
Sal Alosi. You remember who Sal Alosi
Yeah.
is, right? The guy that got fired, the strength and conditioning coach from the Jets.
Uh-huh.
Stuck his foot out.
Yep.
And
That guy-
got pistol whipped. Maybe, I don't know.
Kettlebell whipped.
Kettlebell whipped.
Yeah,
Oh.
kettlebell.
Did you see the photos? Hard in the paint.
Sorry, I'm trying to... Wow. That's big news. The Dallas Stars just acquired the rights to unrestricted free agent goaltender Antti Niemi. That's a pretty big deal for them.
You know what? For all of you listening out there in podcast land, if you could see this setup here, he's got there's like a talking Twitter feed on one monitor where it's just constantly
It's like a 23-inch
it's
tweet deck.
It's amazing. What you do. Very, very good job, Ryan.
Thank you. I go hard in the paint, sir. I tried to say it as
That's
white
what she said. Oh!
as I tried to say it as white as possible.
Yes, you did.
WNBA league indefinitely suspends Isaiah Thomas's ownership application because they realize that Isaiah Thomas is a flaming pile of crap.
The WNBA is still going on?
Yeah.
For the love of God.
But it was Isaiah Thomas who is
Adam Silver, close the damn thing.
Isaiah Thomas, who is known as a terrible person, especially to women. He tried to own a WNBA team, and they said, "Yeah, probably no, you jackass."
I would probably be one of maybe 6 people who would pay to see a WNBA dunk contest.
There's only one. I think only one girl can dunk. That's Brittany Griner.
I know, and it would be hysterical to watch the rest of them dry.
I think so. You could probably play the little Spanish flea music right in the background, kind of low, and when they all try and fail, and it would be like that much funnier. Either that or yakety sax.
No, you got to play yakety sax, but every time they miss the rim, you just...
You guys are terrible. Moving over to FIFA soccer. The U.S. women's national team defeats China on a Friday night, 1-0 to advance to the semifinals on Tuesday to face Germany. That was a pretty good game last night. I caught some of it in between the NHL draft. But the U.S. women's national team was down a few players after a few players had red cards, and they certainly persevered and beat China, which was nice to see because screw China.
Except for our listeners from China.
Well, yeah, those are nice people. They're
Yes,
nice people.
yes.
Our listeners are nice people.
We love
China
our
soccer.
listeners from China.
China soccer, not so much.
Well, I'm not a soccer fan at all, but honestly, this is what when I see we say the U.S. defeated who?
China.
There you go. Welcome back to BLTD.
We got our first fart of the day. And now we're going to move into sports that John and Eric care about. Okay. The NBA 2017 All-Star Game will be held in Charlotte.
Oh boy,
that'll be good.
Buzz City with the new Buzz City jerseys. I'm gonna have to get one.
I don't know that I'm a fan of that.
It's just black on teal, which I like.
Well,
teal.
why has it got to be a color thing? Okay.
What the hell, John?
I'm sorry. I apologize. Listen, you hear Perez's phone go off at least 15 times a show.
And 15 times a minute.
Mine goes off once, and you're all like, "Oh, hey, John, come on now."
Hey, so what was that movie, Flight of the Navigator, where the kid went to San Francisco with Roy Cerrone? We got to get that guy in a podcast, man.
Don't touch the cables.
Yeah, that guy was so weird, man.
Yo, Flight of the Navigator. Thanks for bringing me back to 10 years old. That's awesome. I got to go acquire that movie now.
Eric, you did a really bad job. You were supposed to, when you tweet things about me.
I could legally drink when you were 10 years old.
And Better Live Than Dead, you were supposed to tag Better Live Than Dead.
Did I not?
You did not.
I haven't even tweeted yet.
Did I not?
I probably should. I think I'm going to right now.
Well, we'll take videos in a minute, but I need to.
Oh boy, here we go. Tweeting.
Retweet. And then I need to go find. This is how we do Twitter, guys. Twitter Live right now. Accounts, and then Better Live Than Dead.
Wolf. BLTD.
Yeah, it's a new name, dog.
Threatened to...
What y'all doing with your talking?
Kick me in my balls.
Derriere. Okay, I guess I'll have to retweet that. Cleveland Cavaliers, Kevin Love opts out of his contract and becomes a free agent.
Shocking.
LeBron James is not far behind.
He's going to be on Monday, I believe, is when the deadline for LeBron.
I think LeBron will stay with the 2 years.
I don't think he does.
Well, he'll stay, and at the end of 2 years, he'll get the max, which is like $140 million or something like that.
Right. I don't see LeBron not playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers next year. However, he is absolutely holding them up. He is absolutely holding them hostage.
Well, you got to remember
his plan, as I read, and I apologize, Ryan.
You're okay.
His plan, I believe, is to decline the player option and sit and wait and see what the organization does to build those championship pieces, to who they bring in or whatever. And then he'll sign and do everything. And it must be nice to be able to have that power.
Yeah.
Because I can recall growing up, there wasn't any of this crap that was going on.
Well, realistically, let's be honest. LeBron James doesn't need a team around him, obviously. Look how much he carried the Cavaliers through the playoffs.
He did.
I mean, Kevin Love got hurt. Who else?
Anderson Varejao was hurt earlier in the year.
Varejao was hurt. Kyrie Irving with his kneecap, which was disgusting, I might add.
Pretty nasty.
But he went on after that to have a few 40-point games, didn't he?
The thing about it is that they have the team built around him. They just couldn't stay healthy enough, and there's nothing you can do about that. I mean, injuries are freaking, and it just happens. But they have enough depth there when you're on your fourth or fifth line of guys. There's not much you can do about it. But I mean, the report does say Cleveland's a front runner to re-sign Love, but there's thoughts he could be waiting to hear from Boston and Los Angeles, the Lakers. I think he ends up in Cleveland as his best shot because they can pay him the most money.
To be honest with you, and I called this bold prediction a while ago, and especially when he started sitting at the pre and post game table.
Yep.
I honestly believe Dwayne Wade is going to be headed there.
Really?
That's my bold prediction. You heard it here first. Your Better Live Than Dead bold prediction, ladies and gentlemen. JC over here thinks Dwayne Wade will be a Cavalier.
If he can do what Andre Iguodala did and accept a bench role, a lesser role that helps out the team more, I could see it because right now Dwayne Wade is no longer a starter.
He'll be a starter just because of the fact that LeBron is there. I mean, there's going to be a position change. LeBron can play any position.
Yeah.
He really can. Kyrie on the point. You have Love playing power forward, assuming he comes back. Yep. LeBron could be center. You have Wade at shooting guard. Mm-hmm. I don't see a situation where Wade, at this point, he's going to be a starter somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's going to be Miami. I think it'll be Cleveland.
Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of Cleveland, J.R. Smith opts out and becomes a free agent. I'm not sure if that's a big loss for them because J.R. Smith is, when he's hot, he's hot. When he's not, he could hit the broadside of a barn. So I guess that one is what it is. Cleveland most likely now knows what they need to do to get better. They need to play better defense.
Right.
They have a lot of guys who are good offensively but don't play great defense. They probably should shore that up. Moving over to the Hornets now, they acquire Nick Batum, Jeremy Lamb, and Luke Ridnour.
Did you say Jeremy Lin?
Jeremy Lamb.
Oh, okay.
Lamb.
I was going to say, if it was Jeremy Lin, that dude is going to play for every team in the league.
Oh, he probably will.
Twice.
He probably will at this point. But, it looks like there's some pressure from the front office in Charlotte to get better quick. And then apparently there's also a rumor, and we'll talk about the draft in a little bit, but there was a rumor that the Hornets turned down, I think it was 6 draft picks from the Celtics because the Celtics wanted Justice Winston, and the Hornets wanted Frank Kaminsky from Wisconsin, which they got, which they're collecting a bunch of white guys, so that's cool.
Pretty fly for a white. Wait, why is it cool?
Because I like the Hornets, and they're still toiling in the basement. They don't really know how to play good basketball. Milwaukee acquires Grievous Vasquez from Toronto. Also, a big change out of the NBA this week. Playoffs will be reseeded. Top 8 in the playoffs will be ranked in order of regular season record, no matter the division champions. So what they're saying is, if you go 20-60, but you win the division, you're going to be 8th. Because last year they had 2 of the best teams in the West play before the conference finals. So now the 2 best teams in the West can't face off before the conference finals, which is good for basketball because no one wants to watch the Western Conference final happen in the Western Conference semifinal. That's bad for business.
Right.
Moving over to the NBA draft real quick, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Karl Anthony Towns first overall, D'Angelo Russell second to Los Angeles, Jahlil Okafor third to Philadelphia. Maybe someday Philadelphia puts it all together, they can be a good basketball team, but I don't know what they're doing.
That would be nice. Although their ghettos are terrible, as I've described on Get Ready America previously. I went to Philadelphia a couple of weeks ago, and oh my God, the inner cities of Philadelphia are a dump.
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Pretty much. Looks exactly like the Rocky movies back in the 70s.
Yeah.
Still today. That's crazy. It's amazing.
Congratulations, by the way, on graduating.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah, that's awesome, by the way. Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you very much.
I'm tweeting back about the Sabres. Someone asked me about goaltending, and I...
No, back to LeBron James real quick.
Oh, God.
We got to admit, he had no chance against Golden State.
He had me believing. He had me believing after Game 3.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
After Game 3, I'm thinking this could legit happen.
But with Steph Curry, that dude is lights out. I mean, leading up into the finals itself, just the ridiculous circus shots he's making to beat the buzzer. What was it? It was the semifinals where he made the buzzer beater 3 to send it to overtime? Where it was just like he got the ball and just one leg... Bait ace, just
he can hit a shot from anywhere.
Absolutely.
Real quick, the Anaheim Ducks trade Emerson Edelman, the 41st pick to New York Rangers for Carl Hagelin and 2 picks. That's quite a deal right
there. Hey, Tommy!
Excuse me.
That's a plug for you, Tommy.
By the way, Tommy, thank you if you're listening to the podcast. Thank you for being so kind and liking all my stuff on Better Live Than Dead Sports.
Tommy likes the Ducks.
Tommy likes Wingy.
That's a good callback right there. That's a good callback. Moving over to PGA now. Jordan Spieth wins the U.S. Open. Dustin Johnson missed a close putt to force a playoff. I had Eric watching.
That was a ridiculous ending. Ending.
Yeah, he had 3 putts. I don't know if you saw this, John, but he had 3 putts. He was on the green, had 3 putts. 2 putts to send it to a playoff, 1 to win, 2 to playoff, 3 to lose, and he 3-putted the hole. And
I didn't actually see it, but I did read about it.
It was painful.
It was
quite brutal.
The first putt was just to get him in range. The second putt that could have sent it in, if I'm not mistaken, rung the hole. It was just all I could imagine in my mind was the announcer from Happy Gilmore. Here comes the putter throw. Like I was waiting for it, but he took it in stride, and that it was definitely one hell of an ending.
That's brutal. That's a terrible. I mean, honestly, it's a terrible way to go. But if he took it in stride, he was a good sport about it.
He went to his beautiful girlfriend Paulina Gretzky and his child, and they walked off the course, and he was fine. I mean, it sucks, but it happens. That's golf.
Yes.
Jordan Spieth becomes the 6th man to win the Masters and the U.S. Open in the same year for the first time, and the youngest to do it since 1923. Wow. Moving over to the National Football League now, Cleveland claims wide receiver Terrell Pryor finally gave up on trying to be too little too late for a guy who's never run a route in his life, doesn't catch passes. I mean, he's athletic, but that's really it.
I see that. I saw that story about Terrell Pryor changing positions, And it made me think, what if Tim Tebow did that?
Oh, he would be a great tight end.
He would have been a tremendous tight end.
Yeah. He would have fit well in New England when he was there if he had dropped back and taken out Aaron Hernandez before Aaron Hernandez took him out.
Aaron Hernandez is a terrible person.
From Byron Maxwell this week. His teammate. He said, well, if anything, I'm getting better at catching footballs because of Tim Tebow.
Wow.
Because everything Tim Tebow throws, they're picking off, apparently.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's amazing.
Speaking of quarterbacks.
You know what? I'm sorry. Tim Tebow, I don't hate Tim Tebow. I don't.
I do.
I think he is, honestly, the example he sets is a good example. Mm-hmm. You know, he is somebody that, if he's not a good quarterback, and he's too stubborn to switch positions, if you got multiple people telling you you're not really a good NFL quarterback, you'd make a great tight end. And you say, well, no, God's plan for me is to be a quarterback. And you got multiple people saying, no, the NFL's plan for you is, maybe that's the sign. Maybe that's what God's trying to tell you. Right. You're not listening. But I am going to be very interested to see Sanchez v. Tebow round 2. It's going to be. Thank God it's not.
Being a Seminoles fan, I always loved watching Tebow get beat up by the Seminoles. I hated him as a Gator.
Cheer for old Notre Dame. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Speaking of quarterbacks, Denver reportedly attempted to trade quarterback Peyton Manning to Houston this offseason. Now,
wow,
Denver said no. All the people that are working in Houston said no, but this guy said, I have a guy and I stand by my reporting. That's a lot of they said that's the confirmation. The confirmation you need is that when Peyton Manning redid his deal with Denver, he got a no trade clause put in. Right. It was not there before, but then all of a sudden it randomly shows up like they were going to trade him.
And I did read that, and that was actually about to be the next thing that I was going to say, but it's funny because how this all comes up. Houston looking for obviously a quarterback. They're not very confident with what they currently have, which I don't understand why, because I happen to think Ryan Mallett is not a bad talent. And
sorry to cut you off, but you kind of just went like Macho Man Randy Savage there for a second. I heard it in your voice.
Listen to me, what a Macho Man voice I can give you. The Macho Man. Go ahead and laugh like that. You know what you want, Ryan? A cup of coffee in the grand scheme of things, yeah. Wow. Grand scheme of things, yeah. BLTDsports.com. Gear Network, not Richard Gere, yeah. Not Richard Gere. Gear Network, yeah.
I'm throwing an elbow drop tonight.
This is why we bring you to the show.
You throw an elbow drop, yeah, and I'll tell you, you don't do it as well, yeah. Not as well as the Macho Man, not as well as Jason Money.
No, we're going.
Oh, we're going.
Right.
Slow.
All right.
I just want to make sure we weren't losing you.
Sorry, Ryan, you're going to have to edit that.
I'm not going to edit that out.
That one's standing.
All right, great. I'll make sure to throw the explicit tag up there. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
You can say bitch on the TV, so.
That's right.
Bitch.
NFL will reportedly consider reducing Tom Brady's 4-game suspension if he agreed to not appeal in court. I doubt that's going to happen because Tom Brady, there's really, and Eric, you don't have to get into this because you have before, but there's no, a long story.
You know this. I'm a Jets fan. We have 3 of the 4 AFC East teams represented in this room right now.
Yep.
If Dawn were here, she'd have done the 4th. But let me tell you this. First of all, I think it is absolutely asinine. And I'm channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith here.
Mm-hmm.
You need to go ahead and trip me or reset me? Okay, I'm channeling my inner Stephen A. Smith here. It is absolutely asinine that this is even going on.
Mm-hmm.
The plain and simple fact of the matter is this. Whether or not the balls were deflated does not take away from the fact Indianapolis Colts
blew them out.
Whether or not the balls were inflated. And let me bring this to you. Suppose Roger Goodell. There's a no-win. It's a no-win situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's a no-win situation here because Brady is going to fight this tooth and nail.
Absolutely.
If he is as innocent as he feels he is going to fight this tooth and nail. And why?
Most recent championship. I mean, this is 4 for him.
Mm-hmm.
Leading up to his most recent championship, with Spygate being on the back burner, the taping against the Rams, all that stuff that happened, and that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day. But that's 50% of your championships now that are under question by the NFL.
Right.
So of course he's going to fight it tooth and nail because of the fact that, even leading into the second half of the Colts game, the balls were reinflated, and they scored 28 unanswered points. So even if you just take the second half of the game, you clean the slate from the first half. Your 7 points are out. Your 10 points are out, or whatever they had. It was ridiculous, but still 28 unanswered points in the second half.
Now here's this scenario could be a very real possibility because the NFL doesn't want to go to court.
Absolutely.
Tom Brady doesn't want to go to court, but will if he has to.
And he's obviously got the lawyers. I mean, the lawyer he's got was the reason free agency exists in the NFL.
So Roger Kosak posted this, and he said that he feels that a deal, and then he would be able to return week 2. And the reason for the 1-game suspension would be the lack of cooperation.
Okay.
Which even then is still garbage.
Right. Yeah. Even that is still... Now, let me ask you guys this. In that hypothetical scenario, or in any scenario where Tom Brady has to accept some form of suspension, do you feel that that would be an admission of guilt?
Yes, and that's because of the fact that it's not saying the suspensions go away. Roger Goodell's got an egg on his face because
he's had an egg on his face,
but even worse so because of the fact that now you've spent all of this money to get a company that at one point said that secondhand smoke doesn't cause cancer. You've paid this company now to go on what I feel, being a Patriots fan and just being a fan of the sport in general, has been a witch hunt.
Right.
So if a suspension actually does come down and it's still 1 game, not only is the NFL losing one of the biggest stars of the game on the opening game,
right,
on Monday night, which is one of the biggest stages of them all for the NFL. Thursday night. And they're at home too, so they're not raising the banner without Brady.
Right.
So it's like you're literally trying to, hey, I'm guilty, but not for what I was accused of.
Right. And real quick, Brian, I know you want to jump in here. Another scenario that I kind of dug up and researched. Here is a absolute final case scenario. Should this go to court, you're looking into September, October. Brady can still play those early set of games, and if it turns out that the court finds him guilty, and he has to serve those 4-game suspensions, you're looking into November and December.
Yep.
For your team's best player, that's clearly the best quarterback in the AFC East. You take him out of the game, that could be suicide for the New England Patriots.
Well, with the way the AFC's stacked right now, the East is stacked. It's huge. You've got the Buffalo Bills coming off of an amazing offseason, acquiring an amazing defense, an amazing coach in Rex Ryan, who is very defense-oriented. You've got... they're going to be a nasty team this year.
The Bills' only question mark is going to be at quarterback, and honestly, the Jets are the same.
Absolutely.
Because they have completely upgraded their defense. They've added Brandon Marshall. They've added different pieces to the puzzle in the mix. And again, the question mark's going to be at the quarterback. And then Miami, if you head over there, they've upgraded, given Ryan Tannehill some weapons, and Tannehill has been statistically improving every single year. So the AFC East is very much wide open.
Absolutely.
And and the Edmonton Oilers just acquired Cam Talbot from the New York Rangers.
Wow.
Oilers are, you know what? The Oilers had the stigma. There they go again, getting the top draft and everything. Connor McDavid was like, had this look. You do want to come here,
Well,
look what we got.
They finally have a worthwhile general manager that can run that team, and things are going to be good for them. I don't know if it's going to be great off the bat, but we'll see.
I'm a Johnny Hockey guy.
So Ryan, I gotta ask you though, what do you feel about the Brady situation?
I think NFL's stupid. NFL's always stupid. I've already talked about it.
Okay.
I just think that I think that
excuse me.
The NFL has no ground to suspend Tom Brady, and that's the problem that they have right now. Is they're trying to justify a suspension when they have no justifiable grounds to suspend him.
I agree.
That's how I feel.
All right.
Watch him win another Super Bowl.
The Atlanta Falcons make headlines this week after they invite running back Herschel Walker to training camp.
Wow. Herschel Walker.
Walker, being 53, has not played since 1997, says he still thinks he can play. We'll find out.
It's a joke.
I don't. It sounded pretty serious.
I'll tell you what. If he can actually make the team, do you realize the amount of jerseys that'll be sold?
Yeah, absolutely.
For Herschel Walker, I would buy one.
He'd be the oldest player to ever play in the National Football League.
Ever.
Tennessee announces their stadium will now be known as Nissan Stadium. Philadelphia Eagles sign offensive guard John Moffitt, who recently unretired. He was the guy who played for Seattle, went to Denver, and then after I think like 10 days of retire as a Bronco, said I'm not playing football anymore, and then like went off on this life venture, just to go smoke a bunch of pot, if I'm not mistaken, too, because that was like his thing. He liked smoking weed, and they told him he couldn't. And he said, "Well, I'm gonna leave then." The National Football League reportedly scouting locations to relocate teams to Los Angeles in 2016. They have reportedly submitted requests with the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl last Thursday, Dodger Stadium, Atlanta, Angel Stadium of Anaheim, StubHub Center in Carson, California could also be other options, but probably the Coliseum and the Rose Bowl are kind of tough because teams play there, and they have the first right of refusal. But if the National Football League...
the National Football League, you can go look through my phone if you want. I have videos on here. I have all sorts of old football content, which is why I love being a guest on this show, especially during football season, because I can talk to football and I can speak to football and I can talk about football history because I have the visual things.
Yeah.
But the Rams belong in Los Angeles.
I agree. I wholeheartly agree.
Were the Los Angeles Rams for 30-something years, and then they went to St. Louis. And I get it. They won championship. It's the Thrashers, I believe.
Yeah.
Is it Thrashers?
To Winnipeg, yeah.
To Winnipeg. And it was like, they have to be the Winnipeg Jets. They have to be the Winnipeg Jets. They can't be the Winnipeg Hockey Club.
Yeah.
They have to be the Winnipeg Jets because of the tradition, of the history there. Part of the reason why I'm still not sold on the Nationals, because I think that they should have went Montreal. First of all, Montreal, I hope to God you get it. I hope you get the Expos back.
Yeah.
And same for you, Seattle, with the Supersonics. But when they moved the... Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi, Ryan.
One more thing until we move on. Okay. Before we move on. Seattle quarterback Russell Wilson reportedly turns down a Cam Newton-like contract extension. If you remember correctly, Newton got $5 and $103.8 million with $60 million guaranteed. Do you believe Russell Wilson is worth more than that?
You know what? It's tough because
I'm very back and forth on that.
Yeah.
I don't want Lynch.
Yes.
With him, honestly, because if you have a good running back that can take 20 carries a game, there's not as much of a need for you to carry the load on your team because you're handing it off to a great back, and now defenses have to plan a larger game plan based around the fact that 20 carries are going to go to Marshawn Lynch.
Absolutely.
And that's just the way it is. I don't think Russell Wilson, I think he has the mind and the mentality where he could be that guy, where he could be the guy that keeps everybody cool, keeps everybody calm. I'm a fan of Russell Wilson, but he is not at this time the elite quarterback that you absolutely...
Russell Wilson, young as he is, almost knocking off back-to-back legendary quarterbacks, being Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. Hell, if he had run, I don't know. I'm thinking my lucky stars on that one.
Right.
You don't run. Even a quarterback sneak that close to the goal line with that little time left.
Right. But that's the thing.
Yeah, it's one of those things where I think that he could, if he had gone out there, beat Peyton Manning and
Super Bowl locked up for him, and proved that he's a game-changing quarterback. He can control a game with his legs and with his arm and with his smarts. He's a very smart quarterback. He can, like I said, he can change a game with his arm. He can change a game with his legs. But I think more than anything, he can control a game with how smart of a football player he is and how high his football IQ is. And when he's coupled with Marshawn Lynch, when he's coupled with a very good defense, he is a devastatingly good quarterback.
Right, but now, if you take those pieces away from him...
I still think he would be a very, very, very good quarterback.
Let's use last year's Jets as an example, playing devil's advocate. Take Geno out. Okay, same cast.
It's hard to sit there and play devil's advocate like that, because I could sit there and say put Russell Wilson on the Denver Broncos and does he win? How many Super Bowls does he win? Or if I put Russell Wilson on the Patriots, how many Super Bowls does he win?
You put Russell Wilson with the Bills last year, and they're a playoff contender team.
It's to the point where it's it's to the point where he deserves the money that he's looking to get because he has proved himself to be a very good quarterback in the National Football League. There aren't many quarterbacks right now that are better than Russell Wilson. That's the point.
Okay, and that much I agree with. I would like to see how this year works out for him.
Yeah.
Because this is the final year of his rookie contract.
Yep.
I would like to see how this year works out for him. If he can...
Well, now that they have Jimmy Graham, I mean, watch out.
Right. That's also too. He's got a new.
He actually has a pass catcher that can catch passes.
Right. So I think Russell Wilson can get there. I don't think he's there now. Play this season out, and then when this season ends, we'll see absolutely does he deserve to be the highest paid quarterback in the game right now.
Well, I mean,
the
problem with the highest paid quarterback thing is that every time a quarterback gets paid, the next guy is going to be the highest paid quarterback because it's all
right. But yeah,
it's all slob on, it's all shine up the knob for me because I have to be the highest paid quarterback till the next guy gets paid, and then you're not the highest paid quarterback anymore. Moving over to the UFC now, featherweight champion Jose Aldo. And I hate Apple. Why does it always want to update stuff? UFC featherweight champion Jose Aldo fractures a rib in training. His fight versus Conor McGregor is reportedly in jeopardy. Now, if Aldo can't be cleared, he'll likely be out until October. Aldo says he will fight, but obviously he'll be at a disadvantage. So there's it's already the narrative is already there. Mm-hmm. Speaking of champions, Demetrius Johnson will defend his flyweight championship against John Dodson at a later date. Dana White announced that one this week. And MMA will not be legalized in New York State in 2015. The bill again died in the assembly. New York State Assembly. It's time. It needs to be done. But we'll...
Do they not understand how much money they can make selling out MSG?
They don't understand.
I don't think it's the money that they're worried about. I think it's the fact that they just feel like it's too violent of a sport, and they need more developments in with the brain injuries and with all the
they
extra.
They still allow boxing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to
boxing. The Athletic Commission oversees professional wrestling, which sure it's staged. But there's still a violent aspect to that particular art form.
It's still real to me, damn it.
So, I mean, it's just a matter of whether or not they see the financial, the monetary.
UFC already said they would do, I think, 4 major events a year for the first 4 or 5 years.
Right,
and that's
they had MSG locked up on a date. Should the
they said Buffalo. They said they would do Buffalo. They would do MSG. They probably would do Syracuse maybe for like a fight night, but Buffalo and New York City would most likely be.
And Buffalo especially.
Well, Buffalo especially because of Toronto. Mm-hmm. And that's why they do stuff in Toronto, because you get the Western New York area. They put John Jones in Toronto.
Right.
You put John Jones in Buffalo.
Put John Jones in MSG. Put Chris Weidman. Yeah. I was mad because the super fight they were talking about was Chris Weidman and John Jones opening up MSG at a catch weight.
That sells the show right there.
Exactly.
In itself. I don't care who's on the card at that point.
Moving over to College World Series really quick. University of Virginia wins the College World Series for the first time in school history.
Ridiculous closing, by the way.
Local
I watched
note.
The end of that game.
Second baseman Ernie Clement is from Brighton.
Oh, wow.
So that's pretty cool. Moving over to Major League Baseball now. Seattle Flyers hitting coach Howard Johnson names Edgar Martinez to the same position. Washington pitcher Max Scherzer throws a no-hitter, misses a perfect game by hitting a batter. With 2 outs in the 9th now.
That's awful.
Wait,
it looked like the guy leaned into it, but it is what it is. The ball was kind of.
Was that the second time now that's happened to him, or was that
no? The start before that he pitched a 1-hitter, and then this start he pitched a no-hitter. Then last night on Friday night he was into the 6th inning. With the stats real quick from Nationals Twitter. Quote, Scherzer faced 54 batters in between hits spanning 12 days and 3 games. He had 1 walk and 1 hit by pitch in that span.
Who was playing Pittsburgh when Jose Tabata leaned into it?
That was that game.
That was that game?
Yeah.
He leaned into that pitch.
He kind of put his elbow down and took it off the elbow guard.
He dropped his elbow, and what sucks about that is that's all the umps call at that point. Mm-hmm. And the rule is if the player makes an attempt to move from the pitch, that it is a hit batter. He leaned into it.
It's unfortunate, but you look at it. It might end up being. They might say, "Hey, he put his arm down to protect himself, and it hit him in the elbow guard."
Yeah,
it sucks, but it is what it is.
He dropped right into it.
He still threw no hitter, and that was one of the most impressive performances I've seen in a while.
Next guy flies out. Game's over.
Yeah.
And the worst part about the entire thing was Jose Tabata, he was a pinch hitter coming into the game.
Did his job.
At the same point in time, yes. He did his job. He got on base, and that's what you do as a pinch hitter. You do what you can to get on base. And I'll give him that, but come on, man. Like, sometimes you got to understand like what you're really going out there for. If you're not going out there to win the game, like, come on.
You play to win the game.
We always have to get that in the podcast every single week.
God bless you, Herman Edwards. You were my second favorite Jets coach in my lifetime.
The Atlanta Braves acquire pitcher Bronson Arroyo and
He's
pitcher.
Still around?
Wow.
Yes, he has. He's come back from Tommy John surgery. And pitching prospect Chucky Toussaint from the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'll get this: Atlanta takes on Arroyo's $14 million owed. Gets Toussaint essentially for free, which is Arizona's fifth best prospect. So the Diamondbacks didn't want to pay for Bronson Arroyo, so they said, "Well, here." We'll sweeten the deal up. We'll give you one of our best prospects. Now, this kid throws like upper 90s. He's going to be middle of the rotation kind of guy. It may come back in a couple years to bite Atlanta or Arizona in the ass, but whatever. They clearly know something that we don't. Seattle Mariners cut Ricky Weeks. Weeks was at a 167 average in 37 games this year, 14 for 84. Nothing surprising there. Documents show this week that Pete Rose bet on baseball when he was a player. Now, new documents show that he was betting on baseball in 1986 as his playing career wrapped up. Now, ESPN wasn't looking for this specifically, but they broke the story because they said they were looking into some old stuff to get a story ready for when... hold on one second.
It's raining here.
It just started pouring.
And Eric left his windows down.
Nope, we're good.
I was going to say, did you leave your windows down?
We're good.
Now, they were doing research to write a story on the reinstatement of Pete Rose, potentially, and then they came across these new documents that said, well, hey, dude bet on baseball while he was playing.
These new documents that were acquired from mail fraud from his bookie, because I guess he had been sending out items that were signed, or
here's the deal.
To send out items that were signed and never did, which is fraud at that point because he had acquired the money through the U.S. Postal Service, found the information, yada yada.
Here's the deal: is that it wasn't essentially new documents. It's just that they looked over old documents, for a second time, and they went, "Oh wait, something's sticking out that didn't stick out before," and that was what it was.
I got to be honest with you, I don't care.
Yeah.
I think today this generation doesn't care whether or not you like the fact that he gambled, and yes, it's against the rules.
Yeah.
He still is the hit king.
Yeah.
He still deserves to be in the Hall of Fame.
Absolutely.
Put him in the goddamn Hall of Fame. You don't want him around.
You know what, John? You're grounded for cursing on a podcast.
What?
What did I tell you?
What are you talking about?
God damn it.
There you go. I got a fart.
Hey, can you do me a favor, Eric, and shake the mouse?
That ain't the mouse you're shaking, Eric.
What's going on right now?
Hey, baby. Can you shake my mouse a little bit?
Log back in.
It wouldn't be a Better Live Than Dead without some sort of malfunction, wouldn't
it? Yep, that's correct. My damn computers are stupid. Boston Red Sox are going to retire Pedro Martinez as number 45 in July.
45
He's the
days.
First pitcher in Red Sox history to receive this honor in 7 years with the franchise, which is interesting real quick because it's 10 years in a Hall of Fame induction. He was only there 7 years, but in his 7 years, Martinez went 117-37 with a 2.52 ERA.
He won the World Series.
One of the greatest pitchers.
He broke the curse.
Yes, he did.
Unquote.
Not just that, but I think the reason is the 99 and 2000 seasons. He was one of the greatest 2 years we've ever seen and will ever see.
Absolutely.
That put him, like, he did not have the wins to get in the Hall of Fame, but I think that stretch of 2 years is what puts him in the Hall of Fame. Because he was hands down the greatest pitcher in that span.
I know, I'm a Yankees fan. As much as I hated when he pitched against us, I had to have nothing but respect and love watching him pitch with such passion.
Remember in the remember the All-Star game when he struck out all those guys?
5 guys in a row, 5 batters in a row.
That was when he first started having shoulder problems. That ended up derailing his career when he went to the Mets. The reason why the Red Sox let him walk because they saw that his shoulder slot went from kind of upwards to 3/4. He was throwing sidearm at one point in the World Series. They're like, "Yeah, your shoulder's fried. Like, we're letting you walk." He goes to the Mets, and come to find out, his shoulder's destroyed because
he had an inspiring run with the Phillies though when he came back.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Those 5 batters he retired included what? Sammy Sosa, Jeff Bagwell.
I think it hit all the
McGuire.
A large group of Hall of Famers. Yeah, it was
ridiculous.
It was something special. Ex-Major Leaguer Darrell Hamilton is killed in an apparent murder-suicide. That's quite a horrible story coming out of Texas this week.
Very sad story.
Thoughts with the family on that one, but apparently his wife killed him and then killed herself, and their 13-year-old child was in the house when it happened.
Jesus Christ.
13-year-old.
13-year-old? I thought it was like a 14-month-old, they said.
I don't know.
That was left upstairs or something.
The Cleveland Indians designate pitcher Scott Atchison for assignment in 23 appearances, a 1-1 record, a 6.86 ERA. Again, not surprising. San Francisco outfielder Nori Okoye. Again, probably, I apologize if I screwed that up. I screw a name up every podcast. It is what it is. I've learned to accept it. He fractured his fibula. That hurts pretty bad, so he's out indefinitely. Philadelphia second baseman Chase Utley to the DL with an ankle injury. Free agent pitcher Chris Perez, you may remember him last year because he was...
No relation to Mr. Perez.
No. He was the man who had, I think it was last year or the year before, he had marijuana mailed to his house in his dog's name.
Yes.
He was suspended 50 games for violating a substance abuse policy with a drug of abuse. Also, I do want to point out here, Class A short season affiliate of the Florida Marlins, Batavia Muck Dogs. They throw a combined perfect game. It's 3 pitchers combined in the effort. First time for the Muck Dogs. 3rd ever perfect game in the New York Penn League. Boston Red Sox second baseman Dustin Pedroia heads to the DL out indefinitely with a right hamstring strain. Tampa Bay acquires outfielder Mark Cross. I think it's Cross or Kraus. Minnesota outfielder Byron Buxton to the designated list. Disabled list, not designated. What the hell am I talking about? Minnesota outfielder Byron Buxton to the DL, sprained left thumb. A couple days ago, Philly manager Ryan Sandberg resigns. He was 119 and 159 during his time with the Phillies. He said, quote, "I do not like to lose. I hate to lose. I think that is the biggest thing that weighed on me." Third base coach Pete Mackinnon will take over on an interim basis. Not surprising because I'm sure he was going to get fired after this year anyways or sometime soon. He's a good coach, just needs a better situation in Philadelphia. They're trying to lose to get to stock up the farm system right now because they're still in love with their good players. Utley, Howard, Hamels, guys like that. They don't want to trade him. And even Papelbon, they don't want to trade him. They think they can hold on to him and they still rekindle something. But really, after they won the World Series in 2008,
yeah, that's kind of it.
It might have been time to. I mean, they went back the next year and lost to the Yankees, but after that little run there, they probably should have started saying, yeah, we're getting old quick. And, then shortly thereafter, Ryan Howard tears his Achilles and everything starts to fall apart. The Washington Nationals placed third baseman Anthony Rendon on the DL with a left quad strain. Here's a cool story for you, John. Friday night, Milwaukee pitcher Kyle Loesch records the win against the Minnesota Twins, marking him as the 14th pitcher all-time to defeat 30 active Major League Baseball franchises.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's crazy.
Chicago Cubs third baseman Chris Bryant denies rumors that he was hungover during Thursday's game in which he left with flu-like symptoms. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah, we'll try pitching a no-no on acid.
Hey, only one man's ever done it.
That takes talent.
That takes something. That's
for sure. LSD, sorry.
Oh, hold on just a second, gentlemen. I don't want to echo, so... We are back.
Hooray!
We're back.
We never left.
I love it when I do like the live editing during the podcast where I'm like, hold on a second, and then I shut the microphones off. I'm like, we're good again, and people are just like, what are you talking about, man? But if you were here, you would understand.
Yes, I know. I
also
frequently do that on my podcast. I don't acknowledge it. I just do it.
I just like to acknowledge it because I want people to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah, I'll show you how the sausage is made.
Miami outfielder. Sad news.
Bazinga!
Sad news for baseball today.
Oh.
Miami outfielder Giancarlo Stanton has a broken bone in his hand.
Oy.
Out a while. Quote a while. Apparently he swung the bat and felt the pop in his hand. They think he broke the hamate bone.
Oof.
In his hand. What you looking at?
I'm looking at this car that just randomly stopped up
your
here.
Your dudes are here, I think, Eric. So we'll
here.
get this up quick. Last thing before we go to commercial break, Gear Guy Jose Barrios names the MLB Futures game for the second straight year. He will play for the World Team on the 20th of June.
You're going to hear a bunch of laughing and hugs and, it's Jones! It's Jones!
Let me finish.
Go ahead.
June 20th, no decision, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 76 pitches, 51 strikes. His next start tentatively Sunday night, June 20th versus Montgomery. With that being said, this is the news you need to know, John.
And now you know it.
When we get back, we'll talk more on the Better Live Than Dead podcast. Stick around for these commercial breaks.
Hooray.
While you're listening to this podcast, make sure you follow us on social media. You can follow me at WolfBLTD on Twitter, and you can also follow Mr. Perez at MRLG Perez. Make sure to like the podcast on Facebook at facebook.com/BLTD Podcast, and make sure you check us out at BLTDsports.com. This free and independent sportscast is made possible when you shop the Gear Network store through Amazon. Visit GearNetwork.com and click on the Amazon banner to shop through Amazon's thousands of products at great prices delivered right to your front door. Again, that's GearNetwork.com and click the Amazon banner at the top.
You're listening to Better Live Than Dead on the Gear Radio Network.
And we are back on BLTD 49, ladies and gentlemen. And real quick, before Ryan takes over here, I would just like to get a quick word in about MLB.TV. Gear Network and BLTDsports.com, for that matter, is proud to be a brand new affiliate of MLB.TV. Right now, you can go to our website, click the MLB.TV banner, and sign up for the premium package for the rest of the season for $99.99. That is a penny less than $100. You'll have access to all of the games, and as a premium member, you will get the award-winning MLB At-Bat app for free for your phone, so you can take the goodness with you wherever you go. It is another easy way to support our podcast on the entire network. It's an easy way to support BLTDsports.com, GearNetwork.com. A very easy way for you to follow your teams. Easy, breezy, Japanesey. That's MLB.TV. Go ahead, Ryan.
Easy, breezy, beautiful cover girl.
Shut up, Ryan.
You want to know what else affiliated with Gear Network?
What else?
My butt.
Oh, I feel I should have had the fart thing queued up for that.
You probably should have.
I dropped the ball.
It's okay. You dropped the fart. It's okay.
That's all right.
All right. Now, I guess I'm just gonna say, because Perez is not here today, we have no one to say hello to because we're sad because Perez is not here. Plus, I don't have time to lurk on Instagram and find a beautiful woman. Right. Say hello to my lovely girlfriend.
That's his gimmick.
I could say hello to my lovely girlfriend who's sitting
Hi, Tori.
Sitting on the podcast.
Hi. Say hi. You'll get picked up. Just
say hi really loud.
Hi.
Okay, see, Tori just made her first appearance.
See, it's really quiet, but we can see it.
That's all right.
Things have kind of calmed down a little here at the podcast.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man, why does this always have to happen? Every time I get on the podcast, I get ready to talk, the Buffalo Sabres drafted a guy. So I have to go on my phone and go on a website, and I have to edit the website. It's okay, because here's a tease. I have to edit the website. What website?
Well, Ryan.
Wait a second. And hit my bumper.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for Storytime with Ryan Wolf.
I broke the machine, guys.
Son of a bitch. Oh, man.
Probably because I hit record at the wrong spot. And
Lord.
I have to go back. I have to go back and take care of this. Hold on one second, guys. All right, so we're back here again.
Yes. Amazing,
back here.
Amazing bumper there, Ryan.
Thank you.
Very, very well done.
We made that live. Thank you. We made that live a long time ago.
You made it better live than dead.
Better live than dead.
Hey-o!
It's a play on words.
All right.
Now, speaking of better live than dead, this past week I made quite a large announcement. For the past 5 years, I worked for a hockey website known as Sabres Hockey Central. And after some, I'll just put it as nicely as some front office disagreements. Where
that's very mildly putting it, Ryan.
I'm trying to be nice about it.
I guess
it was a mild disagreement. I was not happy with the direction of the website, and I made that known, and I was pretty much told deal with it and do your work. And I had been running the website for the past 2.5 years, and just got to the point where I really wanted something different, and I thought about leaving multiple times, but I stuck around because you get credentialed, you get to go to the games, all that stuff, you get to get a lot of good experience, meet a lot of good people, and that's why I kept doing it. But after Brayton Wilson and Chris Downey told me, hey, if you can start a website, I want to go with you. So I planted a thought in the back of my head. Then this happened, and I was like, you know what? I was like, I'm ready. I'm ready to do it.
Right.
So early this week, I started Better Live Than Dead Sports, BLTDsports.com. Mm-hmm. I have myself, Brayton Wilson, Chris Downey, John's on board as well. We're going to try to get Perez on board. I don't know how much of a writer Perez is, but we can probably get him on board.
He writes some pretty good blogs. I mean,
good.
A lot of his blogs, if you've seen any of his cigar blogs, they're just completely detailed. So he is.
Well, good.
He does have a pretty good writing ability.
Well, we'll have to have him, when he listens to this, we'll have to have him get a hold of me, and we'll get him on the website. And then we also hired a writer, Alex, I believe his last name is Bielman, is how you pronounce it, at Alex_BLTD on Twitter. He already changed his name, which is pretty cool.
Look at that.
Still looking to get his first piece up, but everyone else has posted something. John posted something about the status of records in Major League Baseball, which was really good, a good thinking piece. I've been covering the NHL draft today live on Saturday. Chris on Friday covered on Thursday, I apologize, covered the NBA draft, and then Brayton has been all over the place with a bunch of hockey stuff, with mock drafts and all stuff like that. Now, I really can't tell you what to expect from the website because it's more or less just kind of a catch-all for everything that anybody ever wants to talk about. I'm not going to assign roles to people and all that stuff. We're just here to have fun. We're here to enjoy ourselves. So we're going to kind of build it as it goes, but right now, and I also want to say thank you to Bree, who helped. Chris hooked me up with Bree, who got me on a server for very cheap. It's awesome. Website looks great. It's smooth. Everything is just feels good, looks good, and I'm ready to build something from the ground up. Like you've done with the Gear Network, I'm trying to do it with BLTD Sports.
I can tell you from experience, and is why part of the reason why I'm on board. Not just because you gave me and Gear Network a chance, you know what I mean? But because I can fully relate and understand what you want to do here. Yeah. And I'm taking nothing away from Sabres Hockey Central. I don't know enough about it to know what the issue was that caused the eventual downfall and the formation of BLTD Sports. But I can say, from what you are doing now, you are opening up to a wider base.
Yep.
Whereas Sabres Hockey Central is Sabres-centric. Yep. It is specifically about one topic. And that was kind of my thing when I took Talking Wrestling out of weekly syndication in favor of Get Ready America. I was limiting myself specifically to professional wrestling. When I switched over to Get Ready America, that was a completely different format where it opened up so many more avenues and abilities and knowledge. And that's what you're doing with BLTD Sports. So I, for one, am proud of you for taking that leap. And then not necessarily, You're doing your own thing, but also sticking here with Gear, which is cool too. And you are no longer limiting yourself to one thing. You are expanding. You are growing. Yeah. And in that, and again, sounds like I'm dating myself here. I sound like an old timer. I'm in dad mode here, but from that learning and that growing, you can apply it and make yourself and the people around you and the things you're doing better. And
that's what I'm looking at. I mean, there's going to still be a lot of Sabres talk. I mean, I'm not going to shy away from it because it's what I enjoy doing.
I get that, because there's a lot of wrestling talk still with me, so I understand that.
There's going to be a lot more to it. Like, I know, for instance, Brayton, once the draft is over, he's going to write us a nice article about the winners and losers of the NHL draft. Not something I could have done on the other website. Now, I just want to say, I do want to put this out there. I wish Kevin and whoever joins the website the best in the future. I do look forward to seeing what they do, but I mean, there was a nice following on Facebook. The website was kind of taking a dive with views because of the lack of content due to terrible hockey playing and terrible hockey team. But I mean, obviously now you've seen it, and we'll talk about it here in the next segment. Things are looking up for the Buffalo Sabres, so maybe that'll change around for them. But I know where I want to be, and it's back in that press box at the First and Agri Center, and I want to be in the press box at Blue Cross Arena for Amherst games. I want to get you to a couple of Amherst games too. So
yes, that would be awesome.
That's the goal. That's the goal, is to get us there and get us to some games and to get the experience to kind of be more part of the media, because that's.
I will try my best to work on the Red Wings.
Absolutely,
since I have friends there that I regularly speak with. So
I'm sure we can, if we keep working towards something, we'll get somewhere.
Right.
And I know it's very vague, but that's kind of how I feel. I'm not trying to be anything specific. I'm just trying to have fun with it and enjoy it. That's why I do this every week.
That's the beauty of it. You're not trying to be a movement. I'm not trying to shoot here. You're not trying to be a movement. You're not trying to be any one particular thing. Like, I lead, you follow, you do exactly as I say. You're not doing that, and that's a good business mantra. That's a good thing to have. It's what makes you grow and grow organically, or at least that's how I feel it worked out for me and worked out for Gear Network, is that I'm kind of like, all right, we have airwaves, do what you need to do. And it grew, and from its growth, there's been growth and development within. You with BLTD, for example. Perez with his forthcoming The Smoke Productions, for example. Developing Dawn, who hadn't spoken into a microphone at all, knows nothing, and then and developing her and her radio personality as well. So it's things like that. It's that particular mindset, and if you stick to that, BLTDsports.com will absolutely be what you make it, and it will be as great as you want it to be.
Absolutely. And the thing too, it's got to feel great for you is that you're seeing your brand branch off. Me with BLTD Sports, Perez with Beyond the Smoke and the Smoke Productions and Project Transformation and a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. And the cool thing too is, I didn't tell you this, and I'm going to tell you on the air right now. I had a friend of mine who worked for a TV station in Buffalo offer to do video stuff.
Really?
For BLTD Sports, for Better Live Than Dead. So maybe I'm going out there in July to have the mega cast with the we're gonna have a big hockey podcast through Better Live Than Dead through Gear Network, where we're gonna have 7 of us talking Sabres. Right. Strictly Sabres. I told you I'm getting away. I'm trying to branch myself out.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
And then I say we're gonna do a podcast about the Sabres, but I know you'll like it because the people that we're gonna have on it's gonna be wonderful. But he offered. He'd be more than happy to help, and maybe that's our next step. Maybe we'll start branching out doing video stuff and slowly but surely, we're figuring it out. We're having fun, though.
It's all upwards from here, my man.
And you know what? The thing is, too, is if at the end of the day, if I'm having fun with it, as stupid as it sounds and as childish as it sounds, if I'm having fun at the end of the day, I could give a damn. I'm to the point where if no one listens to the podcast and I'm having fun recording it, I could be fine with that.
Right.
I mean, I know people tune in, and we appreciate everyone who tunes in and checks out Gear Network and BLTD Sports and follow us on the myriad of social media platforms, but...
Yes,
I just
and now that you mentioned that,
I just feel very, very happy to be able to sit down and talk with Lewis or talk with you or talk with Eric or whoever may be here that you may fart on.
Sorry, it's Jones.
It's always nice to just be able to sit down and just talk about sports with people that like to talk about sports.
Right, and again, fun. If it's fun. If it's fun to you, it will show.
If it's #fun, we #1.
Well, right. It'll show. People will pick up. And you know what? Are you done with Storytime segment?
I could be.
Or no, I mean, it's up to you. It's your...
Yeah, I could go. What's up?
Okay. Well, you know how you mentioned that you didn't have a hello?
Who we can say hello to today?
I'm going to say hello to several people.
All right, 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, John is going to say hello to some people.
I would like to say hello to the people of Tunisia, Nigeria, Italy, and the United Kingdom, all of which have listened to our programming in the past 7 days.
Hi. Thanks for tuning in.
In the past 4 weeks, I would like to add Vietnam, Argentina, Kazakhstan, and Panama, as well as, of course, Canada. Hello, Canada, and the United States.
Hi, Canada, always, and hi, America.
I would like to say on behalf
America.
of all of us at Gear Network and BLTD Sports, thank you.
Thank you so much for tuning in. We do certainly appreciate it. With that being said, we'll wrap up the Storytime segment. Come back, we're going to talk some National Hockey League. A lot of news.
Talking hockey. Oh, wait, wrong one.
That's close. That's close. You listen to the podcast. Thank you.
I have to. Every week.
When we get back, Hockey Talk. Better Live Than Dead podcast. Don't go anywhere.
Gotta fart.
Hey, Don, how's it going?
Living the dream. I'm actually just getting ready to do this commercial.
Oh, you mean the commercial where I tell our listeners to tune into Gear Network every week to listen to our show, Get Ready America? That one?
Yeah, John, that's the one.
They can also listen to us talk about news, sports, whatever's on our minds, that...
And a little of what's on our listeners' minds, but they're just too nice to say it.
Well, that, Don, is a real humdinger.
Humdinger.
Come join us this and every week for Get Ready America exclusively on the Gear Radio Network.
And the Gear Network app.
A successful product does not become a successful product on its own. Look at the Gear Radio Network, for example. We're a prime example. We had a lot of help getting here, and we can help you get where you want to go to. Advertising rates are very low to start off here on the Gear Radio Network. Visit us at gearnetwork.com. Click on the contact link.
to send us an email, and we can work out the details. Again, advertise your product across all of the forums at a low, low rate here on the Gear Radio Network.
Live from the Wolf Den Studios, you are listening to Better Live Than Dead.
Hello, ladies.
We are back here on the Better Live Than Dead podcast, but before we go into talking about the National Hockey League, John, I believe there was something that you want to tell our listeners
There
about.
is something that I would like to tell the listeners, and it's real simple, and it may come across as begging to some, but it's the truth. It's often said that the future of broadcasting is podcasting, and we here at Gear Network are taking the leap of faith into this wonderful realm of broadcasting, and thoroughly, Ryan, as you've said many, many times, enjoying every minute of it. And of course, we know there is a need for good talk radio, but investors are not as accepting of the new craze of podcasting, rather choosing to stick with the old terrestrial style, which kind of sucks. But here's where you, the listeners, come in. You can help join us here at Gear Network and BLTD Sports as pioneers in this avenue by donating to our GoFundMe, GoFundMe.com/Gear Network. It is our page. It is as little as $1 a month. Hi there.
It's the Twitter bots.
As little as $1 a month can help. But we also do have some cool perks and some cool things for you if you decide to donate a little more. Donate $15 or more, and you'll receive a personal shout-out on air, which, Alex Mikado, thank you. Donate $30, and you'll receive both the personal shout-out on air and some signed merchandise from the Gear Network crew, which is myself, Dawn, Ryan, Perez, and Mark House. $50 a month will get you or $50 donation rather will get you a shout out, signed merchandise, and one free commercial for you or your business. $100 will get the shout out, signed merchandise, and 3 free commercials. And if you really want to take the leap, $500 will get you everything mentioned plus 1 month studio naming rights to Get Ready America, Better Live Than Dead, and or Talking Wrestling, plus a phone call segment on a show of your choice. Especially if you are a small business starting up like we are. That would definitely help. You scratch our backs, we will break our backs to help build yours. So, again, that is GoFundMe.com/Gear Network. Click the GoFundMe banner that is on GearNetwork.com. It'll take you right there. And we thank you, as always, for every piece of support you have given us, whether it's through Amazon, MLB.TV, iTunes, whatever. We thank you. So,
absolutely. We're always very thankful for everyone's support. Endless support on the podcast.
Endless support.
We love to talk about things if you love to listen to them.
If not for you guys, seriously, and I get the stats every day. I check them every day because I am very detailed oriented behind the scenes, more than I am live on air. But I am very detailed oriented behind the scenes, and we know you're listening. And if you weren't, I know for sure I probably wouldn't be doing it. So thank you.
Absolutely. It's the people that keep us going.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to talk some hockey.
Let's talk some hockey.
A lot of stuff going on. First off, ex-Buffalo Sabres defenseman and Spencerport native Nathan Pache pleads guilty to taking part in, quote, an illegal online sports betting operation. That was one that was going down at the Marina restaurant in Charlotte. Sentencing is August 31st. No idea if he'll be facing jail time, but it doesn't look good. Los Angeles Kings forward Jared Stoll, charged with 1 count of a felony drug possession of a controlled substance. Charges were bumped down to a misdemeanor. Shouldn't hurt his free agent prospects coming up here in a few weeks. Expansion talk. The NHL opens up applications for expansion. Obviously, Las Vegas is likely to be accepted and rumored to be beginning in the 2017-2018 season. Seattle, Portland, Quebec City are rumored destinations, but here's why I think it's going to be Seattle. Right now, the National Hockey League has a 16-14 conference split. Now, people say that's childish. They want to make it 16-16, but it makes sense. So you put a team in Las Vegas, there's 16-15. You put a team in Seattle, that's 16-16. Plus, Portland is more likely for relocation, not expansion. Same with Quebec City. They've been rumored for more relocation than expansion.
Yeah, that's the thing that was getting me in until you cleared that up the other day. That was the thing that kind of initially took me off guard, is why expand when right now you currently have 2 markets that just are the land of suck.
Yeah, exactly.
In Arizona and in Florida with the Florida.
See, the thing is, they want to keep the teams there because they want that hockey to work in those markets. But if hockey doesn't work in Arizona, they might move to Scottsdale where the Suns play, and the Suns are getting a new arena most likely. That could work out. But if that doesn't work out, Portland, the Portland Trailblazers owner almost bought the Coyotes back a couple years ago before. Right. The team was saved by the National Hockey League and in Glendale with this deal. The deal they made then was now the deal they're trying to get out of. If that deal never happened, the Coyotes most likely would be in Portland right now because they have the Moda Center where the Portland Winterhawks play of the WHL. So it's a hockey-friendly place.
I think hockey in Seattle is going to be great.
Well, here's the deal. If you put a team in Portland and you put a team in Seattle, you've got Vancouver, Portland, Seattle, 3 teams in a small spot. It's a natural rivalry. Portland and Seattle will be a natural rivalry as well.
It's not too far from there either.
No, it would be a lot of fun to have hockey in the Midwest, and that's something Gary Bettman wants. He wants hockey in the Midwest. So I think for sure Las Vegas are building an arena now. They've got the season ticket base built up, just like the NHL said they had to. And I certainly think that it's going to end up being Las Vegas and Seattle. Like I said, Quebec City has been long rumored to be a destination for the Florida Panthers, which they'll have a couple more years to try to figure that thing out. And then, obviously, whatever's going on in Arizona, I certainly think that if they don't stay in Arizona, they'll probably end up in Portland.
Right. I agree. Seattle, and if I can talk here, is an expansion into Seattle contingent on a new arena?
It would be
It would be a deal
if they have an NHL ready or NHL first arena that was approved. It's all part of the deal. Like if they have an arena being built, yes, because they can't play. They could play at the Key Arena, but they could play there for like a year maybe.
Right, and that was kind of the problem with the Key Arena and the Seattle Sonics. Why the Sonics ended up the Sonics wanted a new arena, and things fell apart or whatever. But they're trying desperately, the city of Seattle, to bring back the Sonics.
Yeah.
Which I hope to God my Seattle listeners please bring back the Sonics.
That would be nice, absolutely.
That would be real nice. But if I was wondering, and I couldn't get any answers on this troll on the Twitters. I probably could, but I wasn't searching long enough. And I wanted to speak to you about it because conversation makes for good podcasting.
Absolutely.
God damn it. But if it was contingent on whether or not they got that arena, would the arena then be NHL first?
Probably.
NBA second?
Probably.
Or does it need to be?
It would probably be NHL first. That's the problem right now, is that Seattle has an arena that can be built in downtown Seattle. It's an NBA first arena, but they said they won't bring an NHL team unless it's NHL first, I believe. But there is a potential arena that could be built just south of Seattle, probably about 15 or 20 minutes south. That'd be NHL first, privately funded, all that stuff. So I think you're going to start seeing the ball rolling once they apply for the expansion. I mean, they're saying like Kansas City's talking about it, but Kansas City, they're not NHL ready. Like they have an arena, but just there's nothing in place there. And they're not serious enough about it. But like I said, I think you'll see Las Vegas for sure. I don't know if they'll expand Vegas and Seattle at the same time, but they want hockey in Vegas bad. And if hockey in Vegas is good,
the
fans do and the league does.
Really, I know the league
and the players do too.
All right.
But the thing about it too is the NBA is keeping.
It just seems like a very weird market for hockey.
It's Vegas. Vegas is weird.
Yeah.
But
Vegas can't do football.
Well, but here's the deal. I got something for you.
Uh-oh.
The NBA is paying attention to it. And if the NHL does good in Vegas, they might expand or move a team to Las Vegas with the NBA. Now, the most interesting thing about it will be how they deal with the betting, because that's going to be very, very touchy. But we'll see. We'll see what happens with that.
Yes, indeed.
More to talk about that soon. They're going to start accepting, I believe, in August, I want to say. Or July or August, they're going to start accepting bids for expansion. We'll know very, very shortly who is putting in bids and who got accepted and who didn't. Real quick, Toronto signs forward Zach Hyman to a 2-year deal. I purposely put that one in there, John.
I know you did. You know what? I listened to you last week, and you did it, and I laughed. True to form, I listened to it while I was at the 9 to 5, and I laughed. And I laughed pretty hard because you know my juvenile humor, Ryan.
I do. I've learned you pretty well.
If you throw things out there like that, I'm going to laugh.
Well, like Bob Boner, ex-Sabre, is now a Sharks assistant coach.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I thought you'd get a laugh out of that one, too. Yeah. National Hockey League Awards. Montreal goaltender Carey Price wins everything. He gets the Hart Trophy, which is a league MVP, the Vezina, which is the best goaltender, a share of the Williams-Jennings Trophy, which is your a goaltender that allows the least amount of goals. He tied with Corey Crawford of the Chicago Blackhawks. And he also won the Ted Lindsay Award, which is the MVP voted on by league players. He's the first goaltender to win the Hart since Jose Teodor did it with the Montreal Canadiens in 2002. He's the first goaltender to win the Ted Lindsay Award since Dominic Hasek did it in 97-98, and he's the first goaltender to win all 4 of those awards in the same year.
All right.
Also, right now, can't see it on the podcast, but I'm wearing a CM Punk Blackhawks shirt, which is pretty cool. It's P cool. I'm not a Blackhawks fan, but I'm a CM Punk mark, so that explains the T-shirt purchase.
Yes, there you go.
Rule changes. Finally.
Change them rules.
We get 3-on-3 overtime.
3-on-3 overtime. Please explain.
I was harder than a hockey puck when I heard about that. I'll tell you that much. Essentially what happens now is that they'll play 3-on-3 for 5 minutes, and then they go to a shootout. But 3-on-3 in the AHL last year significantly decreased shootouts because we see now teams know, okay, if we sit back for 5 minutes and if we just play defensive hockey and play not to lose, there should be no problem going to a shootout. We can win with our skill players, and people are getting sick of it and they're bored of it and they want more goals, and that might be a way to put more goals. I mean, it's not going to be, every game's not going to be decided in 3-on-3, but the level of talent in the National Hockey League, you never know.
That makes sense. You know what? As you're talking and everything, and kind of looking at your Twitter there, I'm also looking at the Gear Network Twitter feed. I follow a lot of sports related things on there. I just retweeted Ben Affleck and Matt Damon to produce a film on FIFA scandals. This is per NBCSN.
That's gonna be a good one.
Can you imagine that?
I was about to start cursing in my Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
A lot of people say I look like Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
I actually got told
Did you
once.
Get that reference?
Matt Damon.
Team America World Police?
Yes.
Matt Damon.
Sorry to Matt Damon, we couldn't get him on the podcast today. You get that reference?
Yes, I do, Kimmel.
I was once told that if like Leo DiCaprio and Matt Damon made a gay child, I would be that child, apparently. So that's because I look like them both.
You also look like Eric.
I do. Unfortunately. I also got told that, too. I look like Chris Pratt, which is...
Chris Pratt, huh?
At least I get told I look like good-looking dudes, man, because that makes me feel better about myself.
Well, there you go. You know what? That's the gift that keeps on giving, Ryan.
Absolutely.
All right.
Except I don't want to look like Eric. That's one thing I never wanted. I never wanted to look like Eric.
It's a good thing that you have blotches of beard then and not full beard.
Well, wait till I can grow a full beard. I'm going to grow a full beard like him.
When you grow up.
I'm going to grow a mustache.
When you grow up, Ryan, you get big. You'll get there.
Eric wants me to go to the gym with him.
When I grow, I can't grow a beard like him. Like mine looks like straight up terrorist.
That's actually pretty cool.
Well, I mean, sometimes
you'd be a chill terrorist.
Like I would be a chill terrorist. Right now, I am in got my Kangol hat on, got the glasses. I am imagining you with a beard, like a terrorist beard, with that hat on. Listen, when I have the terrorist beard with this hat on, usually a cigar in my hand, I look like I could probably pose for being a black guy.
That's fair.
Not I'm not black. I'm Puerto Rican, but I could pose for being, because I listen to old like R&B and funk music. So, you'd look at me like, what's this terrorist listening to? And they'll be, get down on it, get down on it. And I'll be like, what's up? And they'll be like,
I'm so confused right now.
Yeah, I am thrown the F off with you. And I'm pointing outside the window, and Tori's just sitting there looking at me like, he's a crazy sumbitch, this guy is. You have no idea.
No idea. Not at all.
All right.
Coach's challenge, offside leading the goal, goaltender interference leading the goal, a couple other things to it. Those are the big ones. And the face-off rule change, a player in the defensive zone must put his stick down first. So the offensive player has... So essentially it allows the offensive player...
I'm in a very dirty place right now. I am sorry, Ryan.
The Sabres are loading up on defensemen. They drafted the third straight defenseman. Wow. They're not messing around.
No, they are.
Well, they have. We'll talk about it in a minute. I'm not going to mention it right now.
I'm going to go onto the lists that you follow because
I'll tell you what. I have so many.
Oh, son of a
good lists. What happened?
It's still showing up as the old Twitter tag. So all of the lists that I would look on, because I subscribe to your list.
Oh, damn it! I'm sorry.
So that's all right. I got.
There's rumors that the NHL cap was set to decrease if the players did not use their escalator this year. So that's bad news. Probably going to have a lockout here sometime in a couple of years.
Oh, wondrous.
Ottawa extends forward Mark Stone 3 years, $10.5 million, and forward Mika Zibanejad 2 years, $2.65 million. Now I put that in there just because I love saying Mika Zibanejad. Colorado acquires the rights to forward Carl Soderberg and signs him to a 5-year deal. Los Angeles Kings re-signed restricted free agent Tyler Toffoli, who's a phenomenal hockey player, to a 2-year bridge deal. I was hoping the Sabres might throw an offer sheet his way, but hey, they've done some other good stuff. So, College UFA Mike Riley chooses Minnesota, which... Oh, I almost just broke a microphone.
How dare you?
Sorry, I don't want to break Lewis's microphone. They sign... He chooses Minnesota, which... his father's a minority owner, so that doesn't surprise anybody.
Wait a minute.
His father owns part of the Wild.
Okay.
He's not. He doesn't own minorities. He's a.
No, I thought you were saying he was an owner that is a minority.
No,
what difference does that make?
I thought you were going for the fact that he owned minorities.
No,
we're not talking about that.
I am not. No, I am totally playing the race game. That's my gimmick on Get Ready America: is racial jokes, fart jokes, and off-the-cuff humor. You're welcome, America. Hi, Tori. How's it going? All right.
Keeping everybody engaged. Sorry, there's another thing. I'm a child. Whenever someone tweets anything to do with 69 on Twitter, you always have to respond nice. That's what Twitter does, man. I cannot tell how many times people have been... Just like yesterday, I went to the reservoir and walked around with Tori. And the sign said 1 mile, one loop equals 0.69 miles. I lost it. I lost my mind. I ran up a hill and took a picture of it and tweeted about it.
Hashtag nice.
No, I just didn't hashtag nice. I just tweeted the photo out and had like 4 people respond in 5 minutes. Nice. Twitter's a wonderful thing for that.
All right. Yes, Twitter does entertain the hell out of me.
Calgary
Flames.
They acquire the rights of restricted free agent defenseman Dougie Hamilton. A grown man named Dougie. I don't get it, but whatever.
Dougie Fresh, man. Again, that's dating myself, but man.
This is a white guy with I think he's actually ginger. He's a ginger.
He's a ginger.
A ginger named Dougie.
I'm still calling him Dougie Fresh.
You can if you want to.
I got Johnny Hockey and Dougie Fresh.
Someone said
we're going to the Super Bowl.
Something like that, man. Someone said that they were actually starting a boy band with all the funny names that they have there.
I wouldn't do it.
Sorry.
Hey, Stampeders! Congratulations on a season opening win with the Canadian Football League yesterday. Last Friday. Whenever the hell you listen.
Breaking down the fourth wall right now. I am updating BLTD Sports
from his phone.
Devontae Stevens. The Sabres drafted Devontae Stevens,
defenseman from Kelowna.
Kelowna. Kelowna. That's where Tyler Myers came from. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I spell this right because I don't want to have to go back and do it again. Yeah. My lovely girlfriend has this love infatuation with Dallas Stars forward Jamie Benn.
Mm-hmm.
SOB. Hopefully that didn't just delete what I was doing.
Uh-oh.
While I'm doing this, I'll tell everybody, check out Better Live Than Dead Sports, BLTDsports.com. I was going to get BetterLiveThanDead.com, but unfortunately that was taken. So
I think BLTD Sports is a catchier thing to say. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's a catchier sell, so to speak.
Well, the thing is
BLTDsports.com. Oh, sweet. Okay, cool. But he said BetterLiveThanDead.com. It might be like, huh? What kind of site is that? So,
people still ask me about the name, and I tell them it was a Motley Crue tour back in 2005, and it just stuck with me. That's what happens. Things just stick with you.
Well,
kind of like herpes.
Yes, herpes.
Speaking of that, Carolina acquires goaltender Eddie Lack. I don't know if he has herpes, but it just seemed like a good transition. Also, the Edmonton Oilers acquire goaltender Cam Talbot from the New York Rangers. A couple other big moves. Emerson Edom, as mentioned before, went to the Rangers. Carl Hagelin heads over to Anaheim. James Wisniewski goes from Anaheim to Carolina, and then Carolina sends Anton Khudobin back to Anaheim. A lot of moves happening, a lot of things shaking up. That's why we call it the silly season. And in just a few days, just a couple days. It's the 27th right now. July 1st, Wednesday, July 1st, next week, free agency starts.
Oh, yes. Yes, free agency. You know what? In any sport.
It's so much fun.
When free agency starts, it is appointment television, appointment...
Twitter vision, man.
Twitter vision, appointment, whatever.
I'll tell you what, that's why I have this massive screen, because I need to get a hard drive for the screen because I love the fact that the screen is massive. But if there's anything else, I love hooking my laptop up to it because you can just have Twitter and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and a half Twitter columns up right now.
I see it, and it's moving like crazy.
The half being my DMs, but everything else, like I have NFL, MLB, Red Sox, Sabres, NHL notifications, and home. NHL has over 200 people. NFL has over, I think, 150 people. Baseball, over 200 people. The Red Sox, all the beat writers.
I'm very interested in the DMs. How many of those are spam?
Those are all real DMs with people.
How many of those are like because I can let me go to Gear Networks right now, and I'll read you some of the DMs that I get on there.
Should we play some sexy music right now?
Ready?
While you're looking for that, I do want to mention the NHL draft took place on Friday night. The Oilers shockingly take Connor McDavid. The Buffalo Sabres get their guy Jack Eichel at 2. Now, the Boston Bruins, whatever the hell they were doing yesterday, they made some history. They owned 3 straight first-round picks, 12, 13, and 14, for the first time since 1968 when the Montreal Canadiens owned 1, 2, and 3. Mm-hmm. So that's P-cool, I guess. But
P-cool, huh?
That's P-cool. That's a new kid lingo. That's Chris Pogue. Dapper's Not Dead. Barber Social Club. He started that. That's his fault.
All right. Hey, you know what? There's a DM in Gear Network's Twitter from a person named Call Me KK. And it says, hello, if you want to gain new followers, click this link.
That's probably a bad idea. Question.
I feel that is a very safe way
Question.
of promoting. Yes.
Do you have your DMs open?
I do not.
I'm talking like people that don't follow you can't DM you.
Not with the JC Money. Nobody can DM me there, really, unless they follow me. But or unless I follow them. Unless it's like a mutual follow.
Yeah.
That's the only way someone can DM me. I don't think I set that for Gear Network, though, and I probably should.
That's probably why you're getting all them spam bots. Oh, hold on just a moment. We're going to echo. We're not echoing anymore, guys.
Oh, that's awesome.
Hooray.
Hooray.
Well, I don't know if we're echoing. I just always assume that we're going to echo because usually that's how it works.
Yes.
You just sounded like your bumper there.
Yes.
Like you're better live than dead.
That's actually Brayton Wilson of BLTD Sports. I'm glad. You know what the cool thing, too, is now that we have all these writers on BLTD Sports, if, like, I want to talk about something, I don't have to. I mean, yeah, I still will go out and get, like, guys from NHL.com and all that stuff. Right. But I can be like, hey, so the Buffalo Sabres made a huge trade today, and I want someone to talk about it, so I'm going to go get Brayton. Yeah. Which actually, we're going to do like a BLTD extra where him and I will just go on Google+. We'll talk about the Sabres drafting, and then we'll throw a video up on BLTDsports.com.
You still use Google+?
Well, we use Google+ for that.
Okay.
Just for that, because it goes right to YouTube, so YouTube hosts it. It's perfect. Okay, the audio sounds great. We shut the video off, so you just see our faces, the pictures of us. So, I mean, it works itself out. It's a good time.
You should totally do like a Mystery Science Theater 3000 picture. With your voices.
You dated yourself there because I really
Shut up, Brian!
I'm sorry. Now, speaking of the Buffalo Sabres, they acquire goaltender Robin Lehner, forward David Legwand.
Sorry, it's an inside joke. It's a thing. It's a gimmick. I'm sorry.
It's a gimmick. Everything's a gimmick.
I didn't mean to say like oh, he's talking Buffalo Sabres. That's my Power Rangers theme. That's my regular text tone. That's what I meant to do.
Hold on. Are you making this explicit, right?
Well, you said you weren't gonna edit the word I dropped earlier.
Okay, so we'll I think I still have this somewhere. Let me turn this bad boy up.
I don't know. You do what you want. You just let me know if it's explicit or not. I just click the button that makes it say explicit.
Okay, let's try this one. That's my favorite one.
Please tell me that's not your niece.
No, that's that little kid. You ever see the video?
No.
Oh, that little kid? Hold on. Let me find it on YouTube right now. I think, John, I need to get your reaction. While I'm looking for this, so I will continue to talk. Okay. The Buffalo Sabres acquired goaltender Robin Lehner and forward David Legwand from the Ottawa Senators. Later, they acquire.
I was gonna say if that was your niece, I was gonna smack the shit out of you. I'm sorry.
They acquire Ryan O'Reilly and Jamie McGinn from the Colorado Avalanche. I'll tell you what, dude. What a day for the Buffalo Sabres.
I have to say this. And I told you this, Ryan, I am not a Sabres fan. I'm not going to pretend to be. I'm not a Sabres hater by any stretch of the imagination. I would rather them win than most other teams. But I am. Oh, did you find it?
Yeah. You can keep talking.
Okay. I am almost as pumped as any Sabres fan would be for the new season to begin because I really want to see the crowd. I want to see the atmosphere. I want to see the team.
I want to be there.
And you know what? I'm not a Bills fan. I'm a Jets fan. But I want to see the Bills this year. I want to see how, this one Buffalo and how this new vibe and everything. Because I like stories like that.
Yeah.
With teams that are kind of in the bottom of the barrel.
Must be why you like the Jets all the time.
And so, yeah, eventually I'll
because they're terrible and they're always terrible and you always.
They're not always terrible. They're not always terrible. They've been terrible the past few years.
Yo, dog, Sexy Rexy, man, is going to be a lot of fun in Buffalo.
It's going to be fun. But, I find it funny coming from a Bills fan talking about how terrible the Jets were when they've been to the playoffs more times in the past 16 years than the Bills have. Granted, if you want to go back farther.
It's the curse of Doug Flutie. Dude, it's the curse of Doug Flutie.
That pissed me off. And
yeah.
I'm not, like I said, I'm not a Bills fan.
It's funny because it's the truth. The first ever Bills game I remember watching was the Music City Miracle when
I can go back.
The Bills should have won.
I can go back to the Bills' glory years, and those were some fun games to watch as a kid.
You want to know something funny? In 1991, I was born, so...
I was 11 years old, you son of a bitch.
Sorry. I apologize.
Which means... Damn! You weren't even 10 when I started wrestling.
No.
Holy crap.
Sorry, eh? Sorry.
And you're even younger.
No, she's older than me.
You're old?
What do you think? She's like 12?
6 months old?
What do you think I'm dating? Children?
No, I would have given her like 20 or 19.
Very thoughtful. Very nice guy.
I'm a very nice...
You're like, what, 37? Come on now.
I'm not as old as Perez. Yeah, buddy. I love you, Perez.
Oh, man, we miss you. Come back soon.
He managed me to, I would say... I want to say 6 different championships. I've held a total of 15 championships in wrestling, but I think 6 of them he was there for. He was, honest to God, he was like the pallbearer to my Undertaker. We meshed.
What about your Paul Heyman to your Brock Lesnar?
That will be for the comeback.
Okay.
That will be for the comeback. It probably will never happen, but if Perez, I'm putting it out there right now, JC ever comes back, you are going to be my advocate.
I'm just going to put this out there and just say this. If you want to hear more about what the Buffalo Sabres did, because I could probably go on for about 45 minutes.
You can. I can.
Keep an eye out. BLTD Extra. Brayton and myself, we're going to talk all about the Buffalo Sabres, all about these moves. We'll put it up on BLTDsports.com. We'll put it up on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Tumblr, YouPorn. Wherever you want to go watch it, we'll put it up there.
There it is. I was waiting for it.
With that being said... Hockey talk is done. When we get back, we're going to wrap this bad boy up and send this thing on the road.
On the road again.
Better Live Than Dead.
We're going to be going on the road again.
We'll be right back.
Do you enjoy listening to Better Live Than Dead, but you're not always by your laptop to hear it on GearNetwork.com? Not to worry, we've got you covered. Better Live Than Dead and all other Gear Network podcasts can now be heard on iHeartRadio, iTunes, in the Zune Marketplace, on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Stitcher Radio, and on TuneIn Radio. So make sure you get one of the aforementioned apps to stay up to date with the latest Gear Network podcasts.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Perez here, telling you about FanDuel's one-day fantasy baseball leagues. Every day you pick the player you want, you can pick a whole team, and play for real money against other users. FanDuel has over 20,000 one-day leagues, so joining in is never an issue. Also, there's no daily commitment, so you play whenever you want. The best part? Over $2 million in prizes every single day. And if you sign up through GearNetwork.com/FanDuel, you help support the network and keep this podcast free.
You're listening to Better Live Than Dead on the Gear Radio Network. Now, here's Perez and Ryan.
Welcome back. We're back. Podcast stuff, talking in words on your face and your ear holes, on your computer and your phone.
All over the place. And I just got to say real quick.
All over your face.
I said, we've been a very hockey-centric, you freaking degenerate, been a very hockey-centric podcast today. I do have a quick NFL note.
I love the stick. I love the stick puck. I love the stick puck.
An ex-NFL player, Damian Cook, passes away at age 36.
Uh-oh.
Damian Cook, an offensive lineman who spent 9 years in and out of the NFL, has died. The athletics department at his alma mater Bethune-Cookman, I'm probably mispronounced that, Bethune-Cookman, confirmed his death on Friday. Maurice Clarett, who also played with him, wrote on Instagram that his cause of death was a heart attack. He played with the Ravens and spent time with the Bears, Dolphins, Browns, Lions, as well as the UFL's Nighthawks, CFL's Hamilton Tiger Cats, and Arena Football's Tampa Bay Storm. So,
sad to hear.
Safe home, Damian Cook.
Absolutely sad to hear. Thoughts are with his family, for sure. To wrap up the podcast today, first off, I want to say, as usual, check out the House Party Podcast on Gear Network. Check out Get Ready America on Gear Network as well.
Get Ready America, yes. It seems to have kind of all aligned itself on days.
It's nice.
You know what I mean? Like BLTD seems to have started. It seems to be the week starter. It starts on Sundays. Get Ready America usually airs on Monday, and House Party Podcast is on Tuesday. So it's like, bam! Triple threat of awesome right there for you.
We're like running. We're like
back to the macho voice. Yeah, a triple threat. Yeah, triple threat of awesome. Yeah, Sundays BLTD, Mondays Get Ready America, and the House Party Podcast all up on the Tuesday airwaves through your ear holes.
It's like we're running train on the podcast listener.
Running train. Yeah.
Cool part is
choo motherfucker.
Cool.
Yeah. Censor that. Yeah. I just dropped an F-bomb in a Randy Savage voice on your podcast. Never before done yet.
I think I have to keep that almost. I almost have to keep that. Because I don't want to bleep it out because I lose it forever. So I can't do that. I also want to mention, as we have for a while now, Dapper's Not Dead Barber Social Club come out with a pomade, highly recommended by myself and Lewis as well. $12 online before shipping, can be purchased at dndbsc.com/store. And also, if you want to get a good deal and a great deal and a great haircut, contact Chris, founder of Dapper's Not Dead Barber Social Club, at dndbsc.com.
And one more time,
dndbsc.com.
All right.
.com.
That was a very nice radio improv voice you had.
Thank you.
My voice is all hoarse now from doing the Randy Savage voice.
Hoarse like Tori Spelling's face.
Ooh.
That was an Eminem line.
Oh,
voice was hoarse like Tori Spelling's face. Eminem was always
like
a
your face.
Always a wordsmith. Eminem, that gentleman. Estefan. They took Gloria Estefan. The Sabres have drafted Gloria Estefan. It appears. Giorgio Estefan. I can't read. My eyes are bad.
Giorgio. My name is Giorgio, and I play for the.
I play for hockey. Hockey team. Hockey team.
He's good, man. He's good.
I play for the hockey team.
Wait, there's no baseball.
Hockey team. I play for baseball on ice with stick puck. Hockey team.
Your Spanish voices need some work.
I'm sorry. Sorry. I want to say thank you to John for being here today.
Oh, and thank you for having me.
Glad to have you. Thank you for Eric Emanon for hanging out for a segment. Thank you to Ish Jones and Tommy Brewington for showing up.
Ish Jones and Tommy. Listen, man, Ish Jones, let me tell you a quick story about Ish Jones.
Okay.
When he was breaking in and he was new and he was a young boy, my thing was I used to fart on him. And he's also a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, so that didn't help his cause.
No.
But there was one show where I was backstage, and here's Ish Jones. And they got the game on. It was a Saturday playoff game, and Steelers are winning. And he's he's cheering, go Steelers, go Steelers. And he's sitting there, and I walk right by him and just, and the look on his face was just a sheer horror and disbelief, and that became the running gag for each show that he was a part of until I retired.
Well, if there's something that you're never without, it's farts.
Oh, right.
You have those in abundance.
I do. And in fact, when I saw Ish Jones, it mustered up old memories, and I dropped a couple of them here.
Your booty hole loosened up, and you were shooting the crap everywhere, man.
God, I was cackling like I do on Get Ready America.
It was bad. It was very bad. But
and it carried the luggage of odor, which was amazing.
I do want to say, follow me on Twitter.
Follow you on Twitter. And what is your Twitter handle?
Wolf BLTD.
Very good.
Guess what else, too?
What's that?
I almost have 1,000 followers.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my goodness.
That's great.
I'm so excited.
Hey, Gear Network has 5,770 followers in Spreaker, which thank you for that. Again, want to make mention of that.
Yeah, thanks everyone for following us, listening to our gallivanting.
We less than 3 you.
Exactly. Next week, Perez will be back for episode 50.
50.
We've done it. Almost.
Amazing.
I can't wait for episode 69. It might just be an hour of sex noises.
Is that going to be on BetterLiveThanDead.porn?
It might be on .com.
Oh, God, I'm staying far away from that.
It's just going to be an hour long of...
Just you know what? Feed the wire, through the wall, feed the wire there, and then you can have the window all to yourself.
The bump...
Please make sure you're wiping.
The bumps are going to be that song, that Ooh So Horny Me Love You Long Time. That's going to be the bump the whole show. Jeez. Every bump is going to be that. We got to do something fun with that one.
Oh, Lord.
Follow John at the JC Money on Twitter. If you want to follow Mr. Perez at MRLG Perez, he's not here today. So maybe if you want to unfollow him for not being here today, being at a wedding, you can do that too. Whatever you want to do.
Is he marrying somebody, or is he actually involved in the wedding? I
think he's part of the wedding party, but he also I don't think he's marrying the people. I know he's in the wedding party, I believe, though.
I was telling Dawn on Get Ready America last week that it would have been cool if we had Lewis marry us. He was groomsman at my wedding, but if he would have married us, it would have been pretty cool. And she was like, "No," and I'm like, "Why?"
Lewis is pretty cool. He gets mad because I call him Lewis now because I'm like I'm a super white person.
That's my fault, Lewis.
I'm a super white person, so I'm like I want to call people by their first name.
No, but you know what? That's my fault. I will take full responsibility for that because I've known Lewis for almost 20 years, and he's only Perez to me when we're in character.
I guess it's just a good thing. It shows that I'm just comfortable being around him, and I call him Lewis. Mm-hmm. Like at the point where I was calling you JC, I'm like I start calling you John. I'm like I feel more comfortable. Like I just feel. I don't know. It's just a weird thing, I guess.
Yeah, John or JC. JC's my initials. It's not like it's a made up character name or anything. But people can call me either. Whatever. I don't give a shit. Sorry. Sorry. I've gone off the rail.
I'm good with it. You're just the one that's losing. You're losing your marbles, dog. Come on now.
I got to fart.
Okay. With that being said, also one last thing before we go. Good on you, Supreme Court, for finally legalizing gay marriage.
Yes.
Good on you.
Yes. Love wins.
Good people. Hashtag love wins.
Very, very happy. Very, very proud of that ruling.
It was long enough. Long time coming, but
Absolutely.
You know what? And if you're not down with that, I've got 2 words for you. Lick my butthole. That's actually more than 2 words, but
Ryan, you're grasping at straws, my man.
Grasping at something.
Oh. Take your hand off of there.
With that being said,
that's not my knee, Ryan.
For John, I am Ryan. We are Better Live Than Dead.
You are not.
We'll be back next week, myself and Perez, episode 50 of the Better Live Than Dead podcast, if we have not been kicked off the internet airwaves by then. Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Bye-bye.
John, good night. Have a good day.
Good night now.
It's raining outside. I'm pissed.
Son of a bitch.
See ya.